Yeah, this whole thing is very interesting to watch this unfold because President Skouvenek came out with a statement yesterday that it's been interesting also with that because a lot of people are criticizing him now for his statement, but I think he raises some interesting points. It says Tech will appeal this, and the thing about it, the one thing is, they do tell student athletes, and it's drilled in their head, do not gamble, and it's in anybody in sports, you don't gamble on your own team for sure. Yeah. But they talk to you all the time about you don't gamble, So I get that part of it, and he clearly looks like he broke that rule, right? But one of the things that Skouvenek kind of brings up, and I'll paraphrase broadly here, but it seems to me he's basically saying that, we live in a time now where sports gambling is everywhere, and all these leagues and college, everybody is embracing taking money from these gambling sites like DraftKings and FanDuel and all this stuff. So it's everywhere, and it's aimed at it's probably really aimed at guys who are just young guys, right? Mm-hmm. And then people are surprised when a young guy is gambling and has an addiction to it. And then you're ineligible now. Okay, well, I tell you what, and this my deal is, my personal opinion on it is first and foremost, if you're going to sit there and rule guys ineligible because of gambling and all this, and it's so bad that you're going to tell them that they can't play anymore, then you as a league need to say no to accepting any money from any of those gambling places. I don't think they can have it both ways. Don't gamble, yet we're going to over here count the money. Mm-hmm. That's not right. So they should say no to that if they really are serious about gambling. Then don't even associate with it in any way. All these leagues, pro leagues, everybody, you can't really watch a game anymore without, you can't really read any sports articles anymore without gambling odds, and it's everywhere. And so then they act all shocked, and suddenly they're morally offended that how dare him gamble? How dare him gamble? Where would he have ever picked that up from? How could he possibly do that? Well, look around.
Yeah.
So I just think if you're going to do that, then say no to gambling, and for everybody. Don't associate any sports with it at all. Yeah. Don't take any money from it, and then enforce your rules. It just seems hypocritical to me, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I read an article on that, and it said, in his statement, Skouvenek also pointed out how the NCAA's own chief medical officer has called for a harm reduction approach in dealing with problem gambling so that student athletes can seek support without fear of impacting their eligibility.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah. See, and it's really interesting because this is not gonna end with this, because there will be an appeal. And then, I'm sure the NCAA will appeal whatever that appeal is. It'll be tied up in court, and that's what it's just going to be. That's why all of this stuff that's happening with, particularly in college with the NCAA, I just feel like the NCAA has sat by and been completely ineffective, and at running anything anymore. And I feel like everybody is just running roughshod over anything now, because everybody knows that it's all going to end up in litigation. And it's just like trying to appeal, say, you shouldn't be paying players. Okay, well, try to roll that back. I mean, I'd love to see that, because then you're going to have thousands of players filing class action lawsuits saying that their rights are being taken away, the rights to, earning money, make a living, capitalizing on their own popular. I mean, all the things. It's already out. And so how are you going to take all that away at this point,
That. Yeah.
And it just seems like it's heading for a time where the NCAA is, to me, it always seems like they're pretending that they still have any power, but to me, they've pretty much just lost all their power, but they're still talking like they got a lot of power. And nobody cares, is what it seems like. It seems like everybody's just kind of doing whatever they want now, It's weird. Very strange time we live in. But yeah, the main thing out of all the gambling part of it, though, is like I said, I don't like the hypocrisy of it, of taking the money but then being indignant when somebody gambles. But I don't.
They're setting an example, aren't they?
I'm losing my train of thought because I got so many thoughts on this. But
yeah, they're. I don't think anybody likes Tech, and I think They're just trying to set a big example, like, well,
yeah, and you do get that feeling, don't you, that everybody's against Tech now because suddenly Tech crashed the party with money and is able to compete now at a level that no one was used to Tech competing in, and so all these schools that have been cheating for years, they don't like it that somebody walked in and crashed their party. And what Tech is doing with the NIL stuff, I mean, they're not even, like Tech softball, man, they've gotten so much criticism for, they're just trying to buy a championship. Well, they don't think. I've seen a lot of lists of NIL stuff, and I haven't seen a single one where Tech is leading in NIL for softball. Have you?
No.
I mean, I don't think I have. I mean, I'm just like, look, I'm no expert. I'm just living life every day like everybody else. You see stuff, you read stuff, but it's just they all pretend like Tech is the only team, the only school that's doing anything with NIL. I'm like, look around. I mean, all these schools. I mean, my gosh. You're telling me UT isn't paying stuff in NIL? Most of those SEC teams probably have been paying NIL, quote, under the table for 1 million years.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of colleges have done that. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying, now it's been kind of made to be somewhat legal.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody's doing it. If you want to compete, you kind of got to play whatever that game is now.
And it's always the school that's doing the exact same thing we're doing. Like Texas,
right, yeah.
What are they doing different? And you know what I mean?
Right,
they're still paying money.
I know, right? They all are. In
Alabama,
yeah, everybody.
That's why I think it always comes down to, it's the quote blue blood schools like their blue blood status, and when somebody walks in with new money, suddenly then they take this moral high ground, Oh, I can't believe that you would be doing something like that. Yeah, really?
Our gang member Lovey's involved?
No.
Man,
no, don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
No, we love Lovey. He's a Lovey fan, but I feel like he'd mostly agree with this. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know if he's listening yet this morning, but no, but it is. It just seems like these big time schools that have been, winning in all these things for all these years, helmet schools and all this kind of stuff. They seriously, it's like they're suddenly offended by the thought that somebody could possibly walk in with new money and start competing in things, and I don't think they like it.
Nope.
That's what it feels like. Anyway, the Brendan Sorsby thing, I guess now for Tech, it'll be tied up in court for a while. But yeah, Will Hammond, you just got to hope that his rehab after the ACL thing is going well, and you're starting to hear stuff like that now that he's on schedule or he's ahead of schedule and. So they can have him ready.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just don't want him to come back too soon because of this situation.
He'll do good, and we have a good team. We really do.
Yeah.
But are we
There's so much pressure to win.
There is.
It's going to be interesting to watch, though. But sports, if you like sports now, you better like the legal system, too, because it's all about lawyers and litigation and appeals and all that
So
kind of
is his
stuff.
girlfriend, she's still playing volleyball, right?
You know what? I don't really know the answer to that. I mean, I don't know. Was she a senior or was she already? I really don't know. Somebody that follows volleyball would have to tell me that. I'm
that
not
just
much
creates
of a volleyball
it impacts
guy.
so much more. Like you
Right.
have the Sorsby deal and legal and tech, and it just the bubble keeps growing.
I know. Yeah. If to think, I mean, there's if I don't know. Are you telling me that is Sorsby the only college athlete who's gambling?
Right.
I mean, and so I don't mean to say that like, well, everybody's doing it. I just mean that this is the kind of thing now. This is getting so much attention that if you're a student and you're in this similar situation, and you're an athlete and you're seeing what's happening, you better get your house in order, I would think. And,
right. Yeah. I'm sure
really,
they're making a point out of this.
See, that's what I feel like they're going to make an example out of him. That's what the NCAA is trying to do. Ultimately.
But that's what makes me sad is because, I mean, in that statement, it talks about how the chief, the main guy says, we need to find an avenue for them to get help. But then they're making this example. Nobody's going to ask for help. That's why we spiral out of control with addiction.
See, and now it's, you could see some kind of legal battle over, is it really an addiction? Or, they have to parse through all of that, Gosh, what a mess. I just want football season to get here,
Yeah.
I hate that all this stuff becomes the story,
I hate that there's that added stress on top of getting ready because Joey McGuire's still expected to have an amazing season.
Right.
And there's no way that he doesn't go to sleep at night thinking about this.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, what a mess. All right, well, there you go. Go read, if you can read President Skuvenek's whole statement. I thought it was interesting what he laid out there. But yeah, you're going to get a million people from everybody who's not a Tech fan. First of all, is going to be probably like, oh my gosh, how dare him say those kind of things? Oh my gosh, this guy did the one thing. Blah,
nope.
blah, blah. Yet, here's another the hypocrisy of it too, is that you look at, well, even in baseball with like Pete Rose, banned for life and all that kind of stuff. It didn't take away the fact that he was one of the greatest hitters ever. I mean, you can't deny that, and so it's. I don't want to talk about this whole morning. I really don't. But.
James did have one good point that I want to bring up because I think you'll have interesting insight. But he said kids are already taking money to play. What is the difference if he's not betting on games that he's playing in?
Yeah, see that's an interesting question there. I mean, the whole thing now is rife with money. There's money everywhere, and everybody's got their hand in it. And yeah, that's
it's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't want guys betting on games that they have. Like if you're a quarterback and you're betting, like you're the starting quarterback, and you lay a bet on your team, it starts throwing into question the integrity of the game. Where if a guy overthrows a critical pass or something, instead of, oh man, he overthrew it, then it starts creating a feeling of, I wonder why he overthrew that. Did he overthrow that on purpose? Did he miss that receiver on purpose because he's trying not to score? He must have money on this game. You definitely don't want that in sports. You don't want feeling like, guys are out there trying to throw game. I mean, that right there is that's why gambling in any part of it is risky, and why sports leagues taking part in accepting gambling to be part of their revenue is ultimately, to me, one of the biggest problems. So I'd like to see them all just put their money where their mouth is. I mean, heck, the NFL's got a team in Vegas now, and when we talk about embracing the whole world of gambling and everything. I mean, my gosh, don't gamble. Hey, Vegas, I mean, hadn't the Big 12 even done things in Vegas? I mean, hadn't there been tournaments and things?
Yes.
I mean, didn't they have? I mean, they've also done things in Vegas. So to me, it's like saying, hey, don't gamble. But I tell you what, if you do, go to Vegas. It's great. It's fun. I mean, weird. All right, next topic. Politics. Let's talk. No, just kidding. It's Jeff Mudflap and the gang, and it's a road trip in summer with United Express and KLLL.
Win a road trip to see Megan Maroney August 14th, or a family road trip to Six Flags.
Trips include one-night hotel and a $200 gas card. Enter by scanning the QR code at United Express locations.
Road trip in summer with 96.3 KLLL.
96.3. This is KLLL. Jeff Mudflap and the gang. 96.3 KLLL.
This summer, you're going to do something.
Yeah.
What was your very first summer job? Do you remember?
Rex's Chicken.
So that was the very first thing you ever did this summer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rex's Chicken. Man, you worked at a real-life place.
Yeah.
What was your first summer job?
I think mine was either babysitting or a lifeguard at the Plainview Country Club.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was going to be a lifeguard one year because I was a good swimmer. I learned all that stuff. I thought about it, but then I was like, nah, I don't know. That's when I guess at the time I was considering that how cool it'd be to be on the radio. So I did that instead. But and it's probably a good thing because I don't know if I'd want to be lifeguarding at this point in my life. So I made a career out of radio. So that worked. I guess I made the right decision.
Out.
But yeah, my first job, because I guess working at the radio station there in Lovington, that was my first job where I was going to a place. And before that though, I did a lot of like yard work kind of stuff. I mean, mowing yards and stuff.
Right.
Every guy did that probably at some point. But trying to think, then the one of the funnest summer jobs I had, I really enjoyed, was I worked is one of my mom and dad's friends. He had a pecan orchard between Lovington and Hobbs. And at that time, it was pretty new. So the trees were very young, and you were working in the hot sun. But I liked it. He'd come by and pick me up at like 6 in the morning, and we'd get out there, and I'd grab a hoe and just get out there and go row by row, hoeing weeds down these long rows of pecan trees, and you had to hoe out like a square around each one of them. So when we brought the tractor through between the rows, it wouldn't have to get too close to the trees because they were really small at that time. So that was my job, was to get the hoe and just hoe around these trees. And whew, man, talk about gloves and blisters and just it was hard work. But that was one of my most memorable jobs. I really enjoyed that, actually. And used to drive the tractor sometimes. We'd go spray, and it was cool. I look back on that. I really liked it. But that was hard work. But that was the summer that, being out in the hot sun all summer, I think I was thinking, gosh, being on the radio would be cool. You sit in there and play music in the air conditioning studio. Not bad. So.
Didn't have any hose in there.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You know what time it is.
Yeah, I think we smell what we're cooking here. Yeah. No, that was but lifeguarding, was that a tough job, or did you ever have to save anybody, or did you just sit up there on the lifeguard stand and look cool?
Okay, looking back, I should have had a lot more anxiety and been more nervous than what I was, but I had a phenomenal tan. I mean, wow. I was dark, but dang. I remember we had to go to a lifeguard training. I think we went to Seminole, maybe, and no, who has the good swim team? It's a different S name.
Stephenville.
No, it's right here close.
Oh, Snickers.
Shallow water.
Is it Seminole? Maybe it is Seminole.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's Seminole.
It
is Seminole.
Okay.
Sundown.
No, it's Sundown. It is Sundown.
Is it Sundown? I'm pretty sure it's Seminole.
Is it Okay, either way, I went somewhere where they had a really good swim team.
Is that Maya was in the swim team, and they had a big thing in Seminole, and they had a very good.
So they have a big aquatic situation there?
Yes.
Because it wouldn't have surprised me that Sundown did, because they've got oil money, and they got a nice baseball field.
Whiteface has the most incredible swimming pool, too. I mean, but I don't know if they have a good swim team.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow swimming that closely, but
anyway,
so
we were there.
So you went to somewhere you think was Seminole for a big training thing, okay?
Yeah, but I remember I was in the class, and we had to go down to the bottom and pick up a brick and swim back up to the top. Well, I remember one of the girls couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But then she was still a lifeguard. After that, like, she had to practice going to get the brick. It took her like a couple weeks to go and pass that test. So
if she couldn't get a brick, she wasn't going to be getting a human, probably.
Right. My goal was to just get the human before they got to the bottom. Yeah. I was going to be a plus lifeguard.
Man, how big was that brick?
But I mean, when you put a 16-year-old, like, lifeguarding is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
It really is, and I've often thought about that. You know, if you take your kids to a pool and you're looking around and you're going, I remember what I was like at that age. Interesting. I hope they know what they're doing. Yeah.
He's been a lifeguard since he was 14, 15 years old, and he's been out at Tech forever.
He's a very responsible young man. I look back on myself at that age. I don't know if lifeguarding was really my pathway there for,
I needed a couple more interviews that, looking back, they should have definitely sent me down a couple more times.
Jeff wasn't checking out who was drowning.
Hey, ladies. Hey, you get out of there. Yeah. You come over here for a talking to. Yeah, I don't know if I would have been the right guy for that job, probably. You're right. You ladies get out of the pool and come over here and get some sun. I think you've been in there long enough.
You come sit right beside me. You've been bad.
Lifeguarding is so fun.
Well, the worst part is being a 16-year-old girl in the movie Sandlot. Every little boy.
Yes. I'm sure you had lots of little boys.
So funny.
All right. So you didn't ever have to save a life or anything, though?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
Right.
One little girl struggled jumping off the diving board, and I jumped in and got her, but I will never forget that feeling of like, well, do I say, like, this is my time to shine. I think I need to go help her.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you think?
But it's just,
When you got out of the pool with her, did everybody go, way to go! Katie Joe's a hero!
No, looking back, I should have made more of a production.
Wow.
Should have.
That's terrible. You're one shining
They're
moment.
like, she did her job.
Everybody back in the pool.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeff Mudflap in the Gang. Making mornings great again.
Hey, it's Colleen. School is out for the summer, and you know what that means? All of the neighborhood kids are going to be hanging out at your house, and you know you love it. But that means for your house to be the best house on the block, you better have the snacks ready at all times. That's why Gandy's Creamland Dips are basically every mom's secret weapon. Ranch Creamland Dips for carrots and veggies. Green chili Creamland dips for quick chicken quesadillas, and Fiesta Creamland dips for cheesy nachos during movie nights. The kids love it. It makes a great snack, and it's so easy, and somehow it'll make you look like the most fun mom on the block. Then you become the official house all the kids want to be at this summer. Now, someday, you may want to share your secret with the other moms, but until then, shh. The Gandy's Creamland Dip secret is safe with you. Gandy's Dairy, farmer-owned, community-led.
96.3 KLLL from the Discount Storage Studios. Discount Storage is Lubbock's #1 place for climate control and drive-up storage units.
So we're talking about first summer job, because now that school's out, it's any day now. Some kids could be having that very first summer job. So yeah, mine was working on at a pecan orchard hoeing weeds. Yours was what, making fried chicken?
Oh, that chicken was so good at Rex's Chicken. Oh man, they had that big old fluffy bread. And
you sure this was a job at a chicken place? We got that coming up. Also, if you haven't heard yet, I guess yesterday the NCAA officially ruled that Brendan Sorsby is ineligible for the upcoming football season. And next step is Texas Tech will appeal that move. And here we go with the legal roller coaster and intermingling sports and the legal system. So,
Brandon, we got you back.
But President Skouvenek came out yesterday with a lengthy statement about Tech supporting Brendan Sorsby, and so we'll see where it all leads. But that's kind of the world of sports these days, with lawyers and all of it. So we'll see how that goes. But all these major sports keep embracing gambling and gambling sites and all the gambling money. They're drunk with the money, but then they get surprised when a young guy starts gambling. Very weird, isn't it? But yeah, we'll see what happens if Tech successful with that appeal. Otherwise, if I'm Will Hammond, put him in bubble wrap and let's get ready.
Don't
for
let him
the
gamble.
new season. I know, man. Right? That's when if your coach has got to pull it. Listen, dude. I know you're a young guy, okay, and I get it, but dude, please do not gamble.
For the love
do
of
anything
Pete.
else, not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the things in sports these days. It's almost like that is the very worst thing you can possibly do is gamble. You can beat your spouse, and you can do all these
I know,
horrible
that's what
things.
gets me.
Yes,
I don't understand.
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you can do any other terrible thing, and somehow you'll play again. But boy, you gamble, and it's like, listen, we got to draw the line somewhere, and that is it.
And you're with Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Draw it.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, on a lighter note today, though. So we're talking about first summer jobs. I mean, here we are now. School is out, and a lot of kids venturing into that very first summer job. Yeah, I think the last summer that I got to do nothing, man, I enjoyed that summer. I laid around. I slept every day till about 10. I'd get up and eat a box of cereal for breakfast, and then lay down on the couch, watch TV for a while. Then I'd get up and eat lunch, and then take a nap. Then maybe venture outside for something, when the sun was warm. And then it'd probably be another nap. And so there was a lot of sleeping and eating that summer, and it was one of the most glorious summers of my life. And the following summer, I remember my mom saying, you're not going to lay around again this summer.
Yeah.
Why not? But it worked out pretty good that summer, I thought. That's when I went to work in the pecan orchard, hoeing weeds. all summer long. So
Did you find that job, or did your parents find you that job?
That's a good question.
Oh man, Jeff, now we're getting the truth out.
I don't know. I think probably they helped because the guy that owned the pecan orchard was a good friend of my dad. And he probably just said, hey, Jeffrey needs to do some work if you got anything. Yeah, have him come out and hoe weeds. Done.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it probably went down that way. But I used to mow yards for the yard for these people as well. And that was probably the summer that I laid around a lot and didn't do much. I did mow a few yards on a regular basis that summer. But it wasn't an everyday thing. It was like once a week or something. I'd load up the mower and go over and do that. That was one of those moments, I think, when I was probably about 15 that summer. Maybe 14 or 15, maybe 14. And I was mowing their yard, and I went in because I had a question, because these people in their backyard, they had a big garden area. And I think for that one trip, they wanted me to also pull some weeds and stuff in the garden.
Oh, boy, you
after
throw
I
them
mowed
that
the
extra
yard.
money?
But I didn't know. No, listen. So what I couldn't tell was there were some of them that I thought were weeds, but they were actually flowers that were coming up.
Oh,
and so I did pull a few of those, and then I thought, you know what? I don't know if this is a weed or a flower. I better ask.
Oh, no.
So the woman, she was in the house, and one of her best friends, I guess, was over there. And so I walk in the house, and I'm going to ask about these flowers or weeds. So I didn't do anything further to ruin the garden.
Right.
So I can hear them talking. So I walk down the hallway, and they're in one of the bedrooms back in there. And I walk in there, and it was one of those stories. And she's trying on a bra.
Oh, no.
And her best friend's in there going, well, I don't know. I think that probably is a good one. Yeah, I think, And I nearly died. I mean, I was like so embarrassed.
Did you just run away?
I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I went down the hallway. I went straight outside and I went back to work, and I was just like, gosh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, my gosh, how embarrassing. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, she comes out a few minutes later, and, did you have a question?
Did you look at us?
Oh, no questions. I don't know. It's just, yeah. It was one of the most embarrassing things.
What size was the bra?
Did they see you?
Oh, she saw it because I
no.
scurried away, and they realized. But
They probably had a good chuckle, Jeff.
No,
I bet they were like, do we say something? What do we do?
Yeah. I liked the first one the best.
The red one was the prettiest.
So, but I was really embarrassed, because these people, they were good friends of my parents, and it was just embarrassing. I was a stupid kid. I didn't know. I was just walking down there and asked a question about the dumb weeds, and next thing I know, it's,
You should just ask about the weeds.
Yeah. Well,
Act like nothing was going on.
Yeah. Ladies, I need to interrupt here.
I don't think that I've ever told that story, so that's a first.
Wow,
right there.
did they have pillow fights and everything?
A pillow fight did not break out at that point, but I always wondered.
Those try-on sessions are also not normal, gentlemen.
I know.
Try-on sessions.
Guys don't have try-on sessions,
When I was 14, though, that was probably one of those moments. Really, you're out there hoeing weeds and thinking, "Yeah, that was interesting." So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey,
You've never shared that story.
I never have. I don't know if it was a good
It's
idea.
a good
that I did.
one. I think it's
Oh, no.
hilarious. I think it's great.
Jeff opened up his heart.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody.
Yes, Jeff, it happens to it happened to me.
Did it? Okay.
I walked right in on him.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay. This was when you were an auto transfusionist, right? Okay. All right. Hello, ladies.
We're having surgery?
Here for blood work.
Yeah.
All right. Other things today. So anyway, first jobs or crazy stories that go with them. Either way. Sonic text line 806-900-9630. Everybody had that first summer job. If you'd like to share what your first summer job was. What yours, Katie Jo, was lifeguard, right?
I was a lifeguard, yes.
Flap. You were
Rex's chicken.
the chicken guy.
I was the chicken man.
You were frying chicken?
Oh, that was so good, too,
Yeah.
man. I can still eat that chicken.
Is that place still there?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
That's a good. I'm going to check.
We look into it. But yeah, so Jama had a first job working at her family's grocery store at 6 years old. Wow. Family business is rough, man. I don't care if you're only 6,
Yeah.
you get in here. You're stuck in groceries. Okay.
Yep. Big Dave worked at a ranch whenever he was 13.
Oh man, that's a cool job right there. That'd be awesome. Now it's hard work, but it looks cool.
Yeah. And then Jesse worked at Jumbo Joe's for his first job.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So if you've got